Good morning, Walled Lake Central. My name is Dr. Hecker. I'm one of the counselors here at Central. On behalf of Walled Lake Central Counseling Administration and the entire staff here at Central, we'd like to welcome you to the 2017-18 course selection kickoff that starts today. Today is a day that we will talk about selecting your classes for next year. It's very important that you take this process seriously, that you follow all the instructions precisely, and that you understand every single year our schedule gets tighter and tighter, that your selections are important and we expect you to stick with those selections. So today is the start of reviewing all the classes that you need to graduate and making sure that you are taking classes appropriate for you and going in the direction of your future. So let's start. In front of you, you should have three documents. The first is the 2017-18 course registration checklist packet of information. The second is the purple Against Academic Advice form. And the third is a registration card according to your grade level. Current juniors, next year's seniors, blue card. Current sophomores, next year's juniors, yellow card. And current freshmen, congratulations, green card. So you should have these three documents in front of you. Now let's take a look at the checklist. The registration checklist has every step that needs to be completed in order to register for your classes next year. It's very important that you follow the instructions that are on this checklist, because missing one could miss a key element of what needs to happen. Now, some of you have done this for a few years now, so it's very similar to the processes in the past. However, there are a few things that are new this year we want to make sure that you catch on, okay? Graduation requirements. They have not changed since the moment any of you walk through this door. The graduation requirements are on the back of the checklist. It is your responsibility to make sure that you understand what you are required to take to graduate. The second reminds us of the rigor in your schedule, okay? Colleges are expecting you to maintain some rigor in your schedule. You want to make sure that you are selecting classes that are appropriate for you in order to be successful. We are going to go out of our way this year to make sure that students are recommended for classes that are truly appropriate for them. We don't want to push the envelope, and we don't want you to push yourself so hard where you can't maintain some peace of mind and academic success. So maintaining rigor that you have and being confident in the selections that you choose are very important. Number three, if you look on the checklist, discussions with your teachers. Your teachers are going to have brief conversations with you about your selections and what they feel is appropriate for you for next year. Now again, these are conversations. We don't always agree with conversations, but we respect each other's opinions. And your teachers are very knowledgeable on how to select, and they are even more knowledgeable on what classes they feel are appropriate for you. So we appreciate having these conversations with your teachers. Teachers are going to indicate on your registration card what they feel is appropriate for you. If you don't agree with that recommendation, is why we gave you a copy of the Against Academic Advice form, the purple form that's in front of you. This form is a form that you, your teacher, and your parents complete in order to select a class that you were not recommended for in certain areas. And this primarily sticks with the core classes or elective AP classes. Okay, so you want to make sure that you are following through on all the processes and making sure that if you want to choose something that you weren't recommended for, that one of these forms are filled out. Final note, if you are including an Against Academic Advice form here, you want to staple that after it's all completed to your registration card and turn that in with your English teacher by February 9th. We absolutely have to have this form in order to register you for anything that is not what the teacher has recommended for you. We gave everyone one of them. Most of you won't even need to use it at all. However, some of you may need more than one. If you need an extra copy, you can always stop by counseling and get an extra copy of the Against Academic Advice form. On number three, you will see on the back of your registration card are all the selections, are all the course numbers, and course numbers as well on the front of the registration cards. You want to make sure that after you've reviewed all these with your teachers, that you get your registration card signed by a parent, completely filled out by a parent with signatures and emails and phone numbers. In the summer is when counselors are finalizing schedules, so it's important for us to have all the information in order to get a hold of you if we need to on your schedule for next year. In filling out the registration card, you want to make sure that you have every area filled out enough to complete 6 full classes for the year. All right, that means 12 sections. So certain classes, of course, you have to be able to give us alternatives. We have to have alternate classes, especially for your elective classes. So let's say you are signing up for financial lit, and if we're not able to fit financial lit in your schedule for whatever reason, we need an alternate for that class. We would like some alternate selections in there. You absolutely 100% have to have alternates selected, because then it gives other options that will fall into your schedule. If you do not include alternates, then you are going to unfortunately be chosen classes for you. All right, and we don't want to do that. So give some extra thought and make sure those alternate selections are in there. So that leads us to number 5, where once you have the card filled out and it's completely signed and everything else, you are going to go online to your Student Skyward Access. Only on your Student Skyward Access can you complete the recommendations. So you will take the information from your registration card and you will transfer those course numbers that you've selected onto Skyward Student Access. The instruction page is the second page in your checklist packet. It gives you more detail than you'll need in order to select those classes for next year. It is 100% absolutely imperative that those classes go in Skyward. So be sure that that gets done. You see that there's a deadline on when to submit those classes online on Skyward. February 9th. Today is the 1st of February, so that gives you 8 days to complete those steps and make sure that you have everything completed and entered into Skyward by February 9th. Your registration card is due back to your English teacher. You will turn it in by February 9th. So be sure to get that done. Make sure your card gets into your English teacher. Students who do not have a card turn in will not get a schedule. You will go to the bottom of the pile. We have a full schedule planned in the next 6 weeks, and we want to make sure that we are seeing every student, and those who are not prepared are going to the bottom of the pile, and hopefully we're able to see you in order to get the selections that you would like to have. So the more time and energy that you spend up front in completing this process, the better it will work out for you. Okay? So some of you may be affected by certain programs that we offer, independent studies, co-ops, testing out. Some of you may want to test out of a class in order to move on to the next level. Good for you. Okay, there are specific forms that need to be completed out for those programs. So you'll see under number 6 that the dates that are required to turn in those applications are listed there. All right, everything is there. We also gave you the website address on where you can find all the information we're giving to you today. You can find extra copies and other things, so if you want to refer to them with your parents at home, then you're able to look at that. So everything is listed on Central's website under the Counseling tab, 2017-18 course selection. Registration cards under number 7, again, due by February 9th to your English teacher. After we receive all the cards, we have a very specific, very detailed schedule set up for every single student watching this to meet with your counselor one-on-one and finalize those classes for next year. That is where we take a final review of your transcript. We take a final review of what classes you need to graduate. We talk about what you plan on doing after high school and how your course selections fit into what you want to do after high school. So it's an important conversation. We have a very specific schedule that is set up with your English teachers. We want to make sure that you are there on that day. So your English teachers already have that schedule. You can check with them. It is important that you are in attendance and attend that day. If not, you go to the bottom of the pile and then we will try to find you later on. But it's really no fun for you. It becomes more time out of class when we've already scheduled it in advance. So it's important that you pay attention to that and that you are in attendance on the day that we are meeting with you. All of that and everything I've given you is in the packet. All right, so every student should be able to complete their courses, course selections for next year. The last 2 pages of the document are information that you should refer to. The first is comparison of Michigan colleges and universities, what they require, costs, ACT, SAT, minimum scores, those types of things, average scores. It's important for you to at least take a look at. We've also included all the websites to Michigan colleges for you to start researching some things, okay? So it's important that you understand what these colleges are asking for as far as what courses you should be taking, what they're recommending. They have all that on their websites. So as a student and as a future post-secondary student, you want to make sure that you are as informed as possible. So make sure that you take a little time in your research and checking that out. On the back of that sheet, there's many websites that are helpful to you to examine a few things, including the separate ACT, SAT websites if you wanted to register for extra tests, or if you wanted to check out free practice tests. All those types of things are on there. There's also NCAA as an example. Juniors especially, if you are thinking of playing a sport in college, you want to make sure that you register with the clearinghouse, and that website is right there. It's important that you do that. And then when you meet with your counselor, make sure we find out all these things. Now, some of you may have a slew of questions, and we understand that. We ask that you write your questions down completely, and that you just bring those questions in when counselors meet with you to talk about your schedule for next year. We won't be taking appointments before that because we are booked with classes coming in, but I assure you we will get to all your questions, okay? Lastly, it's very, very exciting, but Wild Lake Schools is offering the college night and more this year, and it's hosted here at Central. Wednesday, March 22nd, college fair here. It's a big deal. There will be many colleges here. I think so far we've already confirmed about 80 colleges that are coming. We will have trade schools here as well. We will have financial aid personnel as well. The military will be here. So we have something for everyone, and we want to make sure that you take advantage of this night. So today, the rest of the day is going to look a little different for some of you. There is no specific going from class to class to listen to different spiels. You've already seen videos in the last few days of selections that we have here and different courses that we have here and all their curriculums here at Central. So those videos are accessible online as well. We want to make sure that you're double checking those. Your specific teacher can answer any questions regarding other classes in their curriculum. So like your English teacher can answer questions about English, social studies, business, PE. You know, there's plenty of options, and they're willing to answer questions as well. The rest of the day today, we know it's a shortened day, but today is specifically designed for you to meet with teachers and for teachers to talk about your selections for next year. Staff, can't tell you enough how much we appreciate the time that you're spending with students. It's valuable for us. It's valuable for you as teachers to make sure that the students you receive next year are appropriately placed. All right, Central, we're off to select your classes for 2017-18. That's it for me. Have a great day.